I'm a board member and volunteer for CAUSE, an animal rescue group, and I appreciate the chance to speak this evening. First, I would like to say that I too disagree with the use of the gas chamber to euthanize animals and hope that West Valley City Shelter voluntarily discontinues this practice very soon in the near future. However, I will be using my time to mention ways to reduce shelter intake and thus reduce the need to euthanize except for special cases. This will be a very general commentary due to the time limit. CAUSE and other rescue groups would be glad to meet with shelter management and the City Council to discuss options in more detail. Please know that many of these options could be funded by grants instead of budget funds and will give your community positive PR. Following our 2011 statistics that Mr. Davis shared with CAUSE regarding the intake of West Valley City animals in the euthanasia numbers, the highest intake and euthanasia rates are attributed to your cat population. This is not unique to the West Valley Shelter. West Valley City does fix cats that are adopted from the shelter, and you do require cat licensing, but the number of cats that actually get to leave the shelter alive is very low. 2,548 cats came into the shelter last year, and only 43% left the shelter. 57% of the cats that came into the shelter were euthanized. That's 1,460 cats. 678 of these cats were recorded as feral, and 123 were identified as underage, which means young, unweaned kittens. 93 were euthanized due to space or because of the amount of time that they were in the shelter. This is the category that our Andrea found herself in. Bold and creative ideas need to be tried in order to reduce the number of cats that are brought to the shelter. One option would be to implement Title 11, the Community Cat Act, which was passed by the Utah legislature in 2011. This would allow feral cats to be released to a community sponsor that cares for community cats in their area. Of course, they would have to be fixed, vaccinated, and ear-tipped before they were released. Also, more education and promotion of trap-neuter release would help reduce the number of feral cats and underage kittens that end up in the shelter. Dogs fare better in West Valley as in other areas. 2,356 dogs came into the West Valley shelter. 86% were able to leave the shelter, but 317, or 14%, were euthanized. A large number of those euthanized were recorded as elderly, ill, or severely injured, but 33 were categorized as aggressive. 39 were listed as having behavior issues. Most of the issues were noted as moderate. And 26 were euthanized because of space or time issues in the shelter. I coordinate the dog program for CAUSE, and a number of our dogs come from the West Valley shelter, so we are familiar with the types of dogs that are looking for help once their stray weight is done. The largest number of dogs left behind are the bully breeds. So in addition to focused education, increased licensing, and somehow finding a way to drastically reduce backyard breeding, it seems that the shelter dog population could be reduced with regularly scheduled spay-neuter promotions for targeted breeds. These would need to be offered for free or for a very low fee. The targeted breeds could be pit bull type dogs, chihuahuas, and of course cats. Also, local shelters and other progressive shelters in the U.S. are learning that it makes a difference that the local shelters also work with the community's bully breed owners to train and socialize their dogs in addition to sterilizing them. The shelters that offer training and socialization sessions see a lower intake of aggressive animals and a lower return rate of adopted dogs. West Valley City has a great outdoor area where they could do this, and wonderful trainers that already volunteer with their shelter would be happy to help them with this program. I heard that the shelter had a big fix in their parking lot yesterday, and it sounds like it was well utilized. Promotions like this should be very regular within the community in order to increase the number of fixed animals that are already in homes. Also, getting more pets microchipped would assist in getting pets out of the shelter very quickly if they came in as strays. Therefore, offering free or very low-cost microchipping would help get more animals back home. Additionally, if the pet limits were raised or even abolished, responsible pet owners could adopt more animals from the shelter, or they could license the additional animals that are already in their home.
30 seconds.
Finally, we suggest that the West Valley Shelter consider committing to becoming a no-kill shelter soon, and at the same time, implement creative solutions in order to keep the majority of the residents' pets out of the shelter. That way, the animals that are there have the time they need to find a perfect home. Wouldn't it be great if West Valley City Shelter did not have to euthanize an adoptable animal because of lack of space? We would all like to work with the shelter staff and the City Council to achieve this in the near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.